From the K&B Cooperative, it's the adventures of Karl and Bernie.
This douchebag. What was I saying?
You're complaining about people using umbrellas to stay dry.
No, that's not what I was complaining about.
Forgive me.
Well, I'm Mac Welch, and I play Karl in the Karl and Bernie.
I'm Mike Hull, and I play Bernie in Karl and Bernie. We're recording 3 new episodes for the Karl and Bernie, the new Karl and Bernie podcast. We were doing it as a video series for a while, and now we're going audio because it's a hell of a lot easier.
What the fuck are you doing here?
Al, you don't understand.
Hey, douchebag, let the man speak for himself.
Right, but
hey, shut the fuck up, you.
Keep it down out there! Thank you.
Can you please state your name and what it is that you do for your career?
Jason Bailey, Bailey, and I'm the writer-director of The Adventures of Karl and Bernie. Today we're here recording the first 3 episodes of the second season of Karl and Bernie, but it's the first season that's been done as an audio-only podcast. It was becoming really prohibitively difficult to make the films, to make the webisodes. It got to a point of where it was becoming more and more difficult to do them because we're doing them, guerrilla style with no budget.
I think that everybody at this point with the Karl and Bernies is kind of at a point where I think they prefer, at least for right now, to do the podcast because you can do like 3 to 4 episodes of a podcast in one afternoon. I've been at a point for a while now that the guerrilla filmmaking has kind of gotten a little tiresome. You know what I mean? Like the packing 15 pounds of camera shit on your back.
We've been doing it for 15
Yeah,
years.
we've been doing it for so long, both in New York and in Wichita that, you know what I mean? Like it's a little too much. And these are very simple, just sit back and record audio and tell jokes. Hey, you remember Uncle Al?
What? No.
Tina's husband.
Tina's husband is Bob.
No, Tina's husband before Bob.
Tina's husband before Bob was Daryl.
Look, what I had to do, draw you a fucking family tree. He's Uncle Al, you fucking remember him. He's great.
Swears!
We're actually shooting 3 separate episodes. We're recording 3 separate episodes today. How Karl and Bernie met, which is actually, kind of we had planned to shoot that one next. So that's the first one that we're recording as a podcast. And then the second one is Karl and Bernie Rent a Hobo, and then the third one is Karl and Bernie Quit Smoking.
The concept of the first one is actually to do a flashback episode where we find out how Karl and Bernie first met. When the video series started, it started with them already firmly entrenched in their relationship, and they're already friends. So I was kind of curious I thought it'd be fun to figure out how they met. The second episode is called Karl and Bernie Rent a Hobo. And it is the primary story of that one is that Karl has a cousin who he hates, who is screwing up his specifically his love life, but his life in general.
Karl's got his cousin Ty living with him, Tyrone living with him, and Tyrone's a real square and is cramping his style, and Karl's girlfriend Denise doesn't really like Tyrone, and so Karl decides to rent a hobo, a homeless man, in order to scare off Ty out of the house.
Hey, Uncle Al's family, and he's, falling on hard times, so he's going to be staying with us for a while.
Where? I'm using the couch.
Oh, I'll bunk on the floor. Just right over here by you.
I'll be fine.
Bernie is having similar trouble with a neighbor, and so behind Karl's back, he sublets the homeless person to come hang out at his place and help him get rid of a neighbor that he doesn't like.
You smell like hot garbage.
Number one, I'll have you know this is my Uncle Al, who will be living with me as he battles several debilitating mental issues.
Oh, yeah. Just stop listening.
All right, then listen to this. It's inside my apartment and I can do what I want. You don't like it? Move.
Whore up! The whore and you fucking whore trap!
Well played, Al.
For some reason, there's a stretch of hobos happening in these podcasts.
In the words of my Uncle Al, whore, bitch, whore.
Stay inside your bitch box till Tuesday! Tuesday! So now what, Tammany Hole?
This is a real example of where the actor comes into play. I mean, it was, words on a script, but Ernie really brought the character.
Action. From the K&B Cooperative, it's the adventures of Karl and Bernie.
The third podcast, which is Karl and Bernie and Quit Smoking, begins with a long dialogue where Karl is complaining to Bernie about people and how people in New York act with their umbrellas.
And you know who the worst people are? The worst ones?
I can't imagine.
The fuckers with the giant cocoon goddamn umbrellas taking up half the sidewalk. Oh, these jerk asses should all get cancer in the eye.
It's kind of a harsh sentence, don't you think?
Hey, it's a city of 8 million with an M people.
And then what the Quit Smoking is...
Basically a bunch of people are trying to bum smoke off of Karl, and he ends up beating the hell out of one of them, and so we have to have an intervention to calm him down so he can get off the cigarettes and quit kicking people's ass.
Can I borrow a cigarette?
What the fuck you mean borrow? When will I ever see you again so you can repay that debt?
Can I bum a cigarette?
No, get the fuck out of here.
Dick.
Karl, Jesus, come on.
Come on. How's that feel, man, huh? You kick me fucking...
Cut it out! Keep the Jamaican. I like that. But Karl, you got to do something with that at the end.
Oh, okay.
So you gotta say, "Oh, how funny am I now, Bob Marley? Huh? How fucking funny am you know? You gotta do something with that."
You like that, Bob Marley, huh? You piece of shit. I bum this, huh? How about you smoke my cock? How's that taste, bitch? Smoke that!
And cut.
Jason, the writer-director, and Mac and I talked through the stories. You know, well, this will happen, and then this will happen, and then that'll happen. And then Jason writes them pretty much solo.
It was pretty much, I would write it, I would give it to the guys. They're both very good writers. They would make suggestions. You know, they'd give me notes. I'd work those notes in. We'd maybe come up with some new stuff in rehearsals, and then we'd pretty much shoot it.
By the time Jason's written it, it's pretty much complete.
Yeah, that's ready to go.
We talk through the stories, and then once he sits down and writes it out, he's really, got a kind of a stride for these characters.
While I'm credited as the writer, Mac and Mike and the guest stars who come in and work with us are very involved in the words and in the dialogue and in sort of even back to the construction of it.
This is not a shoot. It's a session. It's a recording session. It's something.
We all understood.
If you treat it as such, it's fine.
That's what I called it.
I know, but that's not what it is. We're like, there's a whole. We got to learn all the new jargon.
Well, it's not like you were like, come to the Karl and Bernie hoedown.
There's no character that they can create that's going to come off as natural as themselves. There's no character I can write who's as interesting as Mac is or as interesting as Mike is. So if we can sort of tie that in to what's on the page, then I think it's all for the better for the piece.
If we do have an opportunity to start shooting again in the future, we'll have all of these scripts, that are ready to be edited to a video shoot, and then actually be able to go out and shoot them.
I always create an environment, whether it's on the set or in the studio, where there's, a free flow of ideas, where everybody's enjoying themselves and really feels like they're a part of the process. And I feel like that as long as they don't leave having had a bad time, then that's about the best that I can offer them, is that, I'm going to give them a script that they'll like, and they'll have a good time doing it, and that the end product will be something that they can be proud of. And I so far think we've done a pretty good job of that, and I hope we can continue to do so.